Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I want to read you a Facebook status I put on my Facebook page on the 28th of August. Why does America have such political division? Maybe it's because we think we know how to run the country if we were put in the Oval Office for a day. Maybe it's because of identity politics becoming the hottest thing since sliced toast. Maybe it's because we have an echo chamber wherever you are in the political spectrum. I don't know. It could be any of these things. However, one thing I know is this: America got along somehow when people lived their lives the way they wanted to and people didn't overly criticize who was in office. And people helped each other in their own communities. Why don't we start doing this again? Maybe tensions would simmer down a bit. Now, let me explain to you why I think like this. Reason number one: there's no community in America anymore. This is why there's racial tensions. This is why there's community tensions, you name it. There's no community in America anymore. There's no American community. There's no, you scratch my back, I scratch your back community anymore. There's no community support anymore. There's division within the white community, within the black community, within the Hispanic community, within the LGBT community, you name it. There's division in every single community you could think of in America because everybody wants to be treated with such special treatment that people forget what's good for the community. Don't get me wrong, not everything is good for the collective, and not everything is good for the individual. I understand this. This is why I'm a libertarian. But there are some things that are universal with communities that need to be fought for again. And we need to help each other out again, regardless of skin color, regardless of gender, regardless of sexuality. Even if we live in integrated communities, and a lot of us do, we need to help each other out. And we need to have a sense of community again. That's number one. Number two, when we overly criticize the president or Congress at that, we're essentially saying we have no hope for our country. And we should have hope for our country in order to get the best politicians in office, to do good for this country. We need to have some countrymen support, even for those we strongly disagree with. I disagree with Trump on a lot of things. But do I give countrymen support to him, even though I don't agree with him politically? Yes. Because I have hope that maybe somewhere along the line, maybe a Republican, a Democrat, or a Libertarian might be better than Trump at the job. So therefore, once the election season comes around, I'll either vote Republican or Democrat or Independent based upon who I think will do the job better. But until that point, I still hope for the best and expect the worst from Trump. So I give my countrymen support to Trump, even though I fundamentally disagree with him on a lot of things, including with the Congress. There's a lot of Republicans and Democrats in Congress I strongly disagree with, but they are our representatives. And in order for them to make laws and in order for them to pass bills that will either help this country or maybe break the country, I don't know. But we need to give countrymen support to them. Doesn't mean we shouldn't criticize them. We should, but not overly and extensively to the point of that we just demonize them instead of humanizing them. Because don't forget, Trump is human. People in Congress are human. And we might fundamentally disagree with them. We might think that they have massive flaws, but they make mistakes and so do we. So we shouldn't see our representatives or our president as our enemy. We should see them as people we disagree with, but someone who we should give countrymen support to even though we disagree with them in order for America to flourish a bit when it comes to the country, like with jobs, the economy, etc. And letting people live their lives the way they want to. As a libertarian, it really bothers me when I see racist and SJWs try to police people's words, and I will call them out on that. It really bothers me when I see racist and or SJWs cause riots. But I let them live their life the way they want to. Because guess what? As long as they're living their life and it's not affecting me in any way, what's the problem? They might be flawed individuals, but what's the problem? Let them live their life the way they want to, because if we let each other live our lives the way we want to, number one, there won't be any you're this, you're that. There won't be any of that. There would be more of, I don't agree with you, but you're in financial struggle, here's some money. We would be more in a generous way in America instead of a selfish mood in America. A lot of people like to say that they're selfless. But I'm not seeing that. I see people who are against welfare altogether say that people who are on welfare are moochers. I see people who are on welfare who say about the people that call them moochers are horrible people. And I see people that help each other out not say anything at all. You know why? Because they realize community is important. And it's a good thing I bring that up again because it is important. There's no loyalty to communing anymore. There's no loyalty to friendship anymore. And that's another thing. Loyalty. America used to flourish when there was loyalty. Now there is none anymore. We need loyalty again in this country. Believe me. This whole notion and the way I think goes back to the way Americans have always thought. Now, you could disagree with the president or agree with the president. It doesn't matter where you are politically with them. But if there's no support on a countryman level, the United States will not succeed at all. Because when you criticize the president and you criticize Congress and both parties all together, you're at the point where you don't want to work with each other. And as a libertarian, does it bother me that big government is corrupting America? Yes, and I think that there should be not a big government, but a smaller, medium-sized government at best. But here's the thing, though. I want to help change the government in the most positive way imaginable. So what I plan to do is give my support to the government, even though I disagree with big government, and find a way to limit government while inside out, if that makes any sense. Because you can't always change it from the outside in. Sometimes that works, but for the most time you need to change it from the inside out. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you understand why this way of thinking actually might help the country instead of divide it more. See ya.